Molweni Betuna and welcome to my channel. Igama lam ndinguSelindo Kuhle wakwakwani and welcome to the second video of this channel. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. Please don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe, to comment and to tell everyone that you know to subscribe to this channel. And if you're a returning subscriber, inkosi ndiyabulela for your likes, your shares and subscribing, and please keep on doing it. Thank you. So today I'm actually gonna tell you guys a story. I graduated, my qualifications while working. So I completed my undergrad 2015 and I decided 2016 2017 that I want to go back to school and study like whatever. So I then started the application process, but I got rejected because they said I'm a ComServe. So I guess there's qualifications that you can apply for as a ComServe, and there's qualifications that you're actually limited to doing whilst you're still a ComServe. So therefore I could not apply. Then 2017 I was opposed to ComServe, then I applied again, and the qualification that I initially wanted to do, which was a specialty, I could not do it because they said that I was staying far. So I had applied at the University of Stellenbosch, but since I was in the Eastern Cape, therefore could not take me to do a clinical qualification because I needed to do like practicals. So they gave me an option to choose another qualification. So I decided, let me choose nursing education. So I did the nursing education. It was a 1-year course, and before actually deciding, because they gave me time to decide, okay, so what qualification are you going to do now? So then I looked at their qualification list to see what would work for me in terms of the advantage. Therefore, that time was that Stellenbosch had a telematic course or telematic studies. So whether you are in America, whether you are in the Eastern Cape or wherever around the world, you could still attend. You can attend online, and then you can write exams at a designated site, and then you can submit your assignments and all your quizzes and tests online. And when you do your practicals, which is the actual teaching, they give you an option that you can go to any higher education institution of your choice. So there was no limit in terms of where you're going to study, and also in terms of where you're going to do your practicals. Advantages in that sense. So I looked for the pros and cons of the qualification. So I looked at the finances in terms of how much the qualification will cost me, and like everything that's involved in acquiring the actual qualification. So I looked at that, and then I decided that I'm actually gonna do nursing education, and then I did the qualification. And the other thing that I looked at was in terms of leave, how will the institution assist me to study in terms of when I need to write exams, because at the time I was working at a community healthcare center, and in that community healthcare center I'd work 2 days day and 2 nights night. So I literally worked 4 days, and then I'll get like 4 days off. And within that 4 days, sometimes I would have to attend classes, and sometimes I would have to write exams. So I had to find out how will the institution help me. I actually tried to find out the different kinds of leaves that were available at the institution, and I found out that you can actually get like 15 days study leave. So that 15-day study leave, how it works is that you get 1 day before you write your exams. So like that's 1 day of preparation, and then you get 1 day of the exam. So if you're writing your exam say on Wednesday, then you can get Tuesday off and Wednesday off. So you study the Tuesday, obviously you would have studied like days before, but also you use that Tuesday to prepare, last minute preparation for your exam that's on Wednesday. And then if you need to go to work on Thursday, then you can go back to work. So I applied for that study leave, and the institution approved it, and that's how I went to write exams. And in terms of attending, so with attending, you had an option to either log in online and attend the broadcast sessions there, or you can go to the broadcasting sites. And luckily where I stayed, there was a broadcasting site, so I could go attend. And the classes like wouldn't take long, like they wouldn't take the whole day. You'd have like classes like for hours, then you'd go there and attend. So if I'm off, because luckily with working shifts you can be off during the week, and then when I'm off during the week I could therefore manage to go attend my classes. So it was very advantageous to do this qualification. Like it was not easy, but there was just so many advantages, so I felt that let me do it. So I did that. However, in terms of, I think with studying there's so much that comes with going to school, especially if you have not been to school for like a long time. I think you have to prepare yourself mentally, also financially, because you need to buy books, and you need to also have like ensure that you have Wi-Fi, internet, and you also need to ensure that you have a laptop, and you need to also work your time out, because you now have to prepare for school, you now have to prepare for exams, and there's also assignments and quizzes and everything in between. So for me, I had to work on my mindset, because I had not been behind the desk literally since 2015, because my last exam was in 2015 November. So I therefore had to go back to school 2018 beginning of the year, and I had to adapt doing assignments, submitting on time, which was very difficult. It was very difficult, but I had to adapt all of that. And also at the time, there was just so much going on, because I'm young, I have got a life, I've got a partner, I've got a child, I've got family, and also myself as an individual having to take care of myself. So there was a lot that came with preparation for school, except for the financial aspect of it, but also physically, and also like being at work and knowing that you've got an assignment waiting for you. And where I worked, it was very busy. It's a very busy casualty, so you come back from work very tired, and you still have to do assignments, you still have to have time for your partner, you still have to have time for your child. So there was just a lot involved with between the qualification and splitting my time, but I managed, and it was not easy. I remember this one time I had an assignment to submit, and Harvard referencing was just not coming, academic writing was just not coming. It was a whole mess. I was literally, and I was from night shift, and I had to submit the assignment, because also I think I have got a bad habit of sabotaging myself with leaving things last minute, and then I have to do them last minute. I was literally crying, guys. I was crying while doing my assignment, because I needed to get the assignment in. And also I'm not one to ask for extensions. Generally I don't like an extension, because if you ask for an assignment extension, probably you will always ask for it, especially if you do that with your first assignment. If you can't meet the deadline of the first assignment, you set the standard for yourself. Like personally, I think that even with the assignments, I can always ask for an extension, unless it's an emergency, then I would ask for an extension. But otherwise, I really don't condone asking for extensions. So it was quite hard, and yeah, but I had support from my family and from my partner and from my friends. So I completed that qualification. And the nice thing, I only had to go to the Western Cape in December to graduate. So the whole year I was doing my practicals in the Eastern Cape. I was studying in the Eastern Cape. I was writing my exams in the Eastern Cape. And my practical book, the one that I had to submit at the end, I think I sent it via RMX or something, but it was just so easy. Like telematic studying was very easy. So and also the leave days that I could get at work, like the 15 days off, that I did not have to worry about me studying. It will affect my my annual leave, also my work, so I could manage to do that qualification. So I saw, but I mean, I can do this. I did it last year, so let me try it again next year. So I applied for another qualification. Well, this time it was not the same. Aww. It was just not the same. It was like more a clinical qualification. So a clinical qualification meant that I had to now be where I will be doing my practicals. So I made a very unconscious but conscious decision to resign. So I resigned from my job, my permanent job. Permanent job had, you know, benefits, medical aid, and, you know, housing allowance, all these things. And also it was my comfort zone because I was staying at home, and everything was just nice, man. But I decided to resign. Actually, the reason why I decided to resign was that after I applied and I got accepted, I was then given a timetable of what I would attend and when. So it was actually in blocks. So what I figured, it was in blocks, then my leave days will not be sufficient. Resignation was not my first decision, amongst other options that I looked at when I saw that, okay, these are not working out, so let me just rather resign. So what I did is I looked for, actually the year before, whilst I was still doing my nursing education, I had applied for 50-50 study leave because I knew in the back of my mind that I will not be granted a study leave. Unfortunately, that is the reality of being a young nurse, because there's just a long line of people that have already applied for study leaves. So in some institutions, your application will not be the first to be looked at because there's other people that have been applying for years for study leave. So you're actually at the back of the line. I will really not be the first candidate to be given a study leave because there's a lot of people that have already applied or have been applying for years. So I thought the best option would rather be that I apply for 50-50 study leave, because with at least 50-50 study leave, I will get to work like 50% and then be granted 50% study leave. And it didn't work out. That was rejected because I had worked for that particular institution, I think for about 2 years at the time, or less than 2 years, I'm not sure. And I was informed that no, I've just arrived, so they can't give me that 50-50 study leave. So it meant that I had to wait for years. So I decided, let me resign, and I resigned. And after I resigned, I then moved to Port Elizabeth to do the qualification. It was not an easy move. Like quitting your job, guys, I wouldn't advise jokes. I'd actually advise you to do that. Like, I advise people to take risks, because I look at my life now, I am literally where I am today because I took a risk to resign. And I did not know that this qualification that I actually went to do, like that I left my job for, is actually the one that's actually going to open and create job opportunities for me. So I resigned, went back to school full time, and I did that qualification. And then I decided to do health service management. Health service management, it was quite easy for me to do because I had resigned, so I did not have to be at work, and also it was offered by Stellenbosch University. So the nice thing was that it was telematic, so I could attend while I was wherever, and I could do practicals at an institution of my choice as long as I provide the evidence that I did the practicals, and as long as I had worked the actual hours. So it was kind of easy for me to do the postgraduate diplomas in that sense, because the telematic studies made life very easy, because you need not be in the Western Cape, so you could just do your qualifications wherever you are in the world. So the one thing that I want to bring across to the people is that before you apply for a qualification, please do a thorough investigation in terms of what are the job opportunities that this qualification will open for you, and also find out what are the financial implications, because varsity is expensive, and with being a postgraduate, especially in our field, I'm finding that there's limited opportunities in terms of funding, unless then you are granted a full-time study leave by your institution. So you need to find out how much will the qualification cost me, and how do you generate that money too, because besides the qualification, you need to put food on your table. You're a mother, you're a father, you're an aunt, you're a member of a family, and funeka kiwe at the end of the day. And you also want to find out in terms of a leave structure. So how many leave days do you need, and how much leave can the institution give you, and also what type of leave. So I actually did a research of my own to find out what type of leaves that are available. So you get the full-time study leave. So with a full-time study leave, it means that you're granted, say maybe you are a EN or ENA who wants to do a 4-year course, then you're actually given full-time study leave to go study the 4 years or 5 years, depending on how many years your qualification is. So what happens is that you still get paid your salary, and you come back after the 4 years, then you work for the institution. So there's no financial implications in that. And I think in some institutions they pay for your qualification. And then you also get 50-50 study leave, the one that I was telling you about, where you get like half from your days to go study, and like half the institution gives you. So with that 50-50 too, 50-50, sometimes when I was actually asking someone, they say with 50-50 they can the 50% helps you to do a practical. So if your qualification has got a practical component and you don't qualify for the full-time study leave, then the 50% helps you to do the practical. However, I stand to be under correction, because this is for different institutions. So your institution might be doing something different. So please go find out from your respective institution what is the policy. So you need to find out what is the leave policy. And then you also have the 15 days that I was talking about. So with the 15 days, like I said, you're given 15 days to study. So the 15 days do not include days where you need to attend lectures. However, it does include preparation for exams and also for the exam day. Still with that, it also depends on the different institutions and what policies that they follow. So please go find out from your respective institution what is their policy and how does it work, and then you can take it from there. So the one thing that I was noting was hearing people converse about study leaves, saying that they had applied for a study leave but they did not get a school or a university. So I think the norm is that people assume sometimes, this is a general observation and this is not for everyone. So I also speak under correction with this. So I was finding that some people apply for study leave without going to look for an institution first. So one would apply for a study leave, but they don't know what university or what college they're going to go to. And then the institution therefore grants you a study leave, but you don't have an institution or college where you're going to study. And I think that's also unfair, because there's some people that have already looked for school, had been accepted, have applied for study leave, but were not granted study leave because there's someone who was already granted the study leave, but that person did not look for school. So before you attempt to apply for study leave, please make the necessary research in terms of institutions, what institutions are available and what programs do they offer. And also you start the process of actually applying, and then you apply for study leave on the side, so that if the institution accepts you, and then you also have your study leave ready, so that when you need to go study, you can actually go study. And the second thing is that I've noted was that within our profession, people wait to be granted study leave by their institutions, so they don't study, they don't apply for things. And I'm guessing it's also from a place of not knowing what to study and where to study and how to study it. So hence I took the initiative myself to study whilst I was studying, because I felt that I had only been in the profession for a few years. So if I wait for the line, because there's literally a queue of people that have applied for study leave for years, and they're not getting the study leave because of various reasons that I even don't know. So if I wait that long, 10 years will pass and I'll probably never study. And I took it upon myself that, you know what, let me study while I'm working. I will work around it. And actually there are provisions that are in place for people that are studying whilst working full-time. It's just a matter of finding out what the institution says, like what's the policy and how do you go about. And obviously having conversations with your managers, your matrons, all the relevant people that can assist you in terms of advising you if you want to study a certain thing. So what is the way forward? Some other institutions, after a person has done a certain qualification, they're actually reimbursed, and it depends on the qualification that one has done, because some institutions can choose to say that, I see you've done A and B, but as is an institution will not benefit from it, so we're not going to reimburse you. So find out like what's in place and what's in it for you in terms of job prospects and in terms of promotion and everything that comes with that. And if you're not willing to resign, please find out like what options you have in terms of, you need to find therefore a institution or a university or college that can offer distance learning. I would advise that you need to study at a college or higher institution that is closer to you. It must be within reach, because remember, depending on the workload and what you're studying, your leave days might not be enough. And also you want to be careful in terms of finances. Postgraduate studying can be expensive, and you also need to look for options in terms of bursaries, like what bursaries are currently available with your respective department, and like what processes can you actually do to get funding. I decided to do this video because I had been getting a few questions even before I had the idea of starting this channel from people that are asking me that they work full-time and they want to study but they don't know how to go about and how to do it. So I felt that this channel is a good platform for me to give out my personal views. So this is personal to me in the sense of this is what has worked for me. So what has worked for me might not work for you. So you need to find out what will work for you, and also ask, you can ask me questions like related to working and progressing and what to do, and I'll also advise where I can. And remember, my advice that I give is purely based on my general knowledge. So if you're working full-time, I advise you, if you're not willing to resign and if you're not willing to move to a different town, that's okay. Please don't feel pressure to do anything because you're seeing that people are doing something. There's other options for you. You can do short courses, and these short courses do not even require you to be off work. Maybe some might, but some don't. So you can do short courses and you can attend workshops and other things. And in the next videos I will also advise what short courses you can do that can actually help you and that have helped me to get into different job spaces, because short courses are very helpful, guys. They're very helpful, and there's different short courses that you can do. So amongst the content that I want to cover is also like giving you a background on what short courses to do, especially if you are working full-time and you don't want to miss work and you don't want to take don't want to misuse your leave. So what can you do? That's how I did the qualifications. It was not easy. I keep on saying that because it was very hard. Yo, it was very hard. Yeah, it's the hardest journey I think I have ever had to go through. And and also when it comes to commitment and books, now when I get into books, I commit. I commit and I give myself fully. Studying while working was very hard for me, and even when I was doing my management, I had gone back to work. Yes, I was working. Yeah, I was working when I was doing my management. Yep. I then got a job, so I got a job again. It was a contract job. Enjoyed working there. Can't mention names, but I enjoyed it, and I was still doing this qualification. So even there, when I went into that job space, I asked my manager how they can help me in terms of leave, special leave for studying and for writing exams, and they're very flexible to let me in to assist me. And I would write my exams and I would go attend, and it was sorted. So I think the other thing that is important is that you establish a relationship with your manager to ask how you can be assisted in that regard, in terms of having to go and write exams, having to go and attend if you need to attend, like what strategies can assist you. So I actually did 2 qualifications whilst I was working, come to think of it, and it was not easy. It was just not easy, and I'll keep emphasizing not easy because it really looks all good and all easy when you have all these qualifications. It's really not easy. There's just no better way to say it. But each and every one of the qualifications that I have, it was worth it, and I wouldn't have done it any other way. So guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for taking your time to watch this video, and I hope that it will help you in whatever way that you need in terms of advancing in your career. You don't have to wait for an institution to send you for short courses, because remember, even there's still a long queue of people that have not been trained on what and what, and you coming here and you also need to be trained. So if I've learned that if you don't take the responsibility and going out there and doing something yourself, you're never gonna get it done. So if you're saying that I've been waiting for like long to not get this, go get it yourself. So I'm actually do a video where I will like break down the short courses that I think are important that you need to do, that are actually beneficial in terms of job opportunities, and also where you can do them. And remember, with that, it will be my research, so I will stand under correction. Like someone can bring in something different that I don't know too, because remember, we all don't know everything. So it will be a research that will be solely done by me, and I'll find out with which courses, and also myself, which courses that I have done that were not provided to me by the institution that I did for myself, paid from my own pocket, but have actually helped me at the end. So thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to like and to subscribe.